Welcome to the Uncommon Sense Podcast right here on SinceYouAsked.com, thetruevision.net, and also KBCNradio.com. And happy Veterans Day to all the veterans out there. And this is Jay Howard along with Michael B. Wright, Big Brother Mo Better. How you doing, Big Brother Mo Better?
Fine there, Dr. James Howard Green II.
You had to call
Stillman
my
College, par excellent.
You had to call my whole government name, my brother.
Oh, that boy. Got to give honor where honor is due.
Well, thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Bernard Michael Wright Sr. How you doing, bro?
Mr. Bernard.
Mr. Bernard.
I could be doing good. I could be doing good if I get me a decent computer.
Okay, we gonna work on
so I
that.
can catch up with you.
Oh, you good. You all good.
No.
You all good, man. You all good.
Make it do what it do.
And we're trying to make common sense out of this uncommon sense world we're living in right now. And it's so uncommon sense. This is so crazy. Now, you shut down the government.
Good luck for that.
You shut down the government. And then you say you're going to hold we're going to hold it until healthcare. But then there's a backdoor deal done. And now we're here. What do you think about that, brother? Right? What do you think about that?
Well, you knew it was coming, man. Of course, again, when you're looking at dynamics, it's a lot of, again, cogs in this wheel. But again, when you look at what the shutdown is doing to, again, TSA, air traffic controllers, of course, everybody trying to jump on Snap. But when you look at the government as a whole and the effect it's having across the board, you know, at the end of the day, when you got federal employees getting collection letters and facing eviction, somebody got to do something, you know. So it's just not like you got to think about who all's been affected and to the degree that people are being affected. It's easy to say hold the line, but how much collateral damage you gonna have trying to hold that line?
That's right. That's right, brother. How much collateral damage you gonna have, and how long can you just hold that line? Unless you're really dedicated or unless you have something to the side to where you can hold the line. But if you have nothing, so how can you still hold that line?
That's it, man. I mean, Congress is still getting paid, you know, so the House representatives, senators, they're still getting paid. So, I mean, it's easy for them to talk a whole lot of rhetoric, but when you're down that totem pole and you haven't gotten a check in almost 30 days, going on 40 days now, that holdout sounds real bitter after a while, you know. So
yeah, it does.
Again, you got to look at how much collateral damage, man. You can look at collateral damage you're going to have in a situation, man, because it's not what people are painting it out to be. You know, again, you have folks facing eviction. You have people getting, you know, repossession letters because they can't make the payment. So it's getting rough for those who, again, further down that pole, man.
Now, brother, right? I thought it was kind of cold on the Supreme Court just to hold up the payments on the SNAP card. I'm like, for real? I mean, that was real cold to me.
And this surprises you? It's cold, but that's just that's your Supreme Court, player. Again, bro, it's amazing how during the Biden years, Supreme Court was trying to rein in quote unquote presidential powers, and then this cat get a free fall. So it kind of makes you wonder who's in the Epstein files that can pull this kind of weight in this dynamic. But again, bro, the Supreme Court doesn't surprise me with them right now, because you got your boy Clarence Thomas and again John Roberts, all of them cut from the same cloth. They just kind of trickle out the best way they can, you know.
The best way they can.
And
And
Kavanaugh don't.
brother, man, what? And to start off the show tonight with our topics, let's talk about this 50-year fixed mortgage proposal. Now, you really
Good
setting up
God
for a
Almighty.
generational debt situation here. 50
You
years?
think?
Mm,
50.
50.
Don't do it.
No, don't
What they
y'all
gonna
go out
do?
there and do it. Matter of fact,
They,
we got some
they
beautiful
gonna do it,
bean
Jay. They
footage.
gonna do it.
No, we got some beautiful bean footage right now that we gonna play on Uncommon Sense because it's gonna break down this 50-year mortgage. And this 50-year mortgage ain't what you think it is. Yeah, you might have a lower payment, but the payment's not even that lower to say, okay, let's go with it.
A longer fixed rate mortgage would lower monthly payments, but would also create a higher total cost because of all that interest over 5 decades. Take a $400,000 loan at 6% interest. Under a 30-year mortgage, the monthly payment would be just shy of $2,400. Under a 50-year loan, it drops to just over $2,100, a savings of nearly $300 a month. But over time, that savings is erased by a much larger interest bill because while the total interest on a 30-year loan would be about $463,000, the interest on a 50-year loan would total more than $860,000. Many, including longtime allies of President Trump, are not on board with the idea. Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene saying, quote, "It will ultimately reward the banks, mortgage lenders, and home builders, while people pay far more in interest over time and die before they ever pay off their home, in debt forever, in debt for life." And some experts warn the proposal would drive up prices.
Wow. That's on a 50-year mortgage. Do you see
That
the
part.
interest? The interest on that thing,
Yeah.
man.
That part, man.
That is ridiculous.
And again, you only shaving off $300.
Yeah.
That's stupid ridiculous, man. You're never on the home. But it's just like they did when they had that boom in 2008. You know, when you had the real estate boom, people was getting those adjustable mortgages and only interest mortgages.
Right.
There was all that crazy stuff, man. And then folks losing home left and right. So now you're in a situation where you're duping people into, I got 50 years to pay it all. Okay, what god dang, if you buy your house and you're 25, that means you're gonna be 75
5 years old
before you pay that house off. You know, are you thinking,
30 years is
so
bad
no,
enough,
man.
right?
It's
30 years
this
is bad enough already.
What you say, man? Come on now. Like I said, the interest, man. Look at that. Okay, they're saying right now, Jay, the average age to buy a home now is people in their 40s.
40s.
People in 20 and 35, you can't even afford a house at this point. So saying the average new home buyer right now is between 40 and 45. So if you get a 50-year mortgage at 40 and 45, that means you're going to be 90. If you think about it, when the house is paid off.
Bro, just go to 30. Just think about 30.
90.
You 40 and you go to 30 years and you're going to be 70 when you pay it off.
You said if you make it to 70.
Exactly.
If you make it to 70.
Exactly.
Yeah, man. So, but again, Jay, this is the problem, man. You've really made it so it's unaffordable either way you switch this thing.
Right.
And then if you have folks again being able to jack up the price on the house, and that there's no check and balances there, so you're still off the cuff and behind the 8 ball. But this situation again where people are looking at payment versus long term. Every finance person will tell you, payment is the last thing on your mind. It's the terms on the loan that you need to pay attention to, man. It's not the payment.
Exactly.
They trying to do the same thing with car mortgage, car loans. 7-10 years.
Come on, a car won't even last that long, really.
People not thinking, man. They're just looking at payment, not terms, man.
Right. Exactly. And this is what the president called, he's making the economy cheaper by doing this. No, you're not making the economy cheaper. You're making it more heavier and making lenders richer by doing this.
So that's the point he's trying to do. He ain't studying the person that's buying. He's trying to get the lenders wealthy.
Exactly. But anyway, let's go to the situation that CBS, my brother. At CBS, the so-called DEI Purge. What's really behind that move right there? So let's go to that beautiful beam footage right there and see what's really actually behind this. Here we go.
Here's a shot of Barry Weiss at CBS on her way to fire all the black people in the building. One of the first things she did was to eliminate the race and culture unit because who gives a fuck about that shit? There's also this because, of course, she was a DEI hire. And a young producer, Tony Sherman, says he got dumped and all the black people on his team got dumped and all the white people got reassigned.
I just got laid off from my job at CBS, and every producer on my team who got laid off is a person of color. Every person who gets to stay and will be relocated within the company is a white person. Now, in my meeting with the executive who told me I was getting laid off, I specifically asked him if
we went from DEI and race-based hiring to race-based firing. I mean, why would a news organization need to have black people in it?
Wow, brother. And as you always say,
cold-blooded, but it's true there, player.
Does this surprise you at all?
I told you what I'm trying to tell you. Yeah, man. You again, they're trying to make it white again. That's what they're doing, bro. And the sad thing about it, Jay, is everybody who's hollering, NDEI and all this stuff, they're actually a DEI hire themselves. If you look at it, Hexel, this lady here now heading up at CBS, all of them are Linda McMahon, JFK, all them cats are DEI, man. They have no qualification, should not be there at all. The only reason why you're there because somebody, likes your picture.
Wow.
That's it.
That's it. Bro.
But that's why, again, man, when you think about it, Jay, you don't have any kind of black media. That's the other issue, man, when you're looking at dynamics. Thank God, they did Tyler Perry and finally bought BET and all that good stuff, but still, you don't have a black-owned media arm that can make up the deficit, bro. So where do you go from there?
But brother, is that a true media arm? Tyler Perry, is that true? Is that a true media arm? No, that's not really.
It's called Black Entertainment.
Channel. Yeah,
TV for a reason.
But it ain't.
That's what it is. Black Entertainment. That's no,
So,
but again, it's never about informing or carrying the narrative of the black community, man, to any degree. It's never been about that. And if you think about it, BET never had quote unquote like a news anchor. It never had that kind of flair. It was all about entertainment. So,
well, they tried. Well, no, they never did. That was TV1 that did that. That wasn't them.
There you go.
And
that
Kathy Hughes only owned like 25% of that. So
that part right. So you're right. I mean, so you're still at a situation where we ran to these, but you think about it, Jay. When it came down to the black flavor, the black flavor was selected to actually save these networks. When you look at CW, black folks saved that.
Right.
When you look at Marvel Comics, Black folks said it. People, even Stan Lee told you, Blade saved Marvel.
Yeah. Exactly.
So when you're looking at when you look at the dynamics of things, man, it was the black flavor that saved these networks because we took our stuff to their particular platform.
Right.
Versus being in a situation where we could take our stuff to our own platform and build it up. That never happened. So if you pick one, it's always been that black flavor that has changed the dynamics of any kind of platform. NBA, NFL, the NBA should stand for National Black League, Black
Right.
Association.
Exactly.
That was just stand for.
Exactly.
So that's where you are, bro. That's where you are.
So this ought to teach us something here that maybe we need to just keep stuff for ourselves and create our own media and stick with our own people in building our own media conglomerates. Yeah.
Yeah, man. That's what Dr. George Fraser, man, been talking about for years.
Mhm.
Dr. George Fraser. Now, I admonish everybody get his books. George Fraser, Dr. Claude Anderson, those
Yeah.
cats, man, that have been on the front line talking about build capacity, maintain your own,
Right.
control your own particular narrative and your own economy. Those older, again, legends who have not only talked the talk, Jay.
Right.
They actually put the plan in black and white, and they
Yeah.
told you how to do it.
Exactly.
But those individuals are never given the national platform, like a Ben Crump, or they ain't trying to hurt nobody, but they've never been getting that kind of air time where it affects the masses. So that's where you are. But George Fraser's been saying it for years, man. You got to build capacity, and if you're not building capacity, if you're not again controlling your own economy, then you're just food on the menu, man. That's all you are.
Well, see, here's the problem. If they had their own capacity or had their own platform, that would be the most powerful thing in this country. And they don't want that platform to be built up, because if it is, the other media, they are in trouble. They are in trouble. Yeah.
Yes, sir. So true. So true. Yes, sir.
Now let's talk about the truth about who controls the world. Power, influence, illusion. How is that? So let's go to that beautiful beam footage right there, Doc, because man, we going into something right now. Who really controls the world?
Oh Lord.
Here we go.
Oh, don't listen to Putin about nuclear weapons. He's just bluffing. When the world ends, you won't be able to say, "You asshole, he wasn't bluffing." I've been watching this close up, and damn it, we're close to disaster. In 2017, Putin said something very, very interesting. By then, he had dealt with Clinton, he had dealt with Obama, and he had dealt with Trump. He said they come into office with interesting ideas, but then the men in the dark suits and the suitcases and the blue ties come to visit them, and then you never hear of those ideas again. What he was talking about is the military-industrial state. That's who runs the United States. The same companies that are operating in the slaughter in Gaza are the companies operating in Ukraine. And it's our big tech industry, by the way. This is our first AI wars, and they're trying out their weapons right now. The idea of our militarized state is keep the public stupid. This is important to understand. And yes, there's another little detail. The CIA has a track record of dozens of coups, assassinations, overthrows of governments of other countries. That's its main role. Utterly stupid. It solves nothing. By the way, in the ranking of stupidity, I put the British #1. And it doesn't matter whether it's Mojo, Boris Johnson, or Starmer. They have the worst imperial mentality of any country in the world. They were at it the longest. They still think they run the world, and they're fools. The U.S. leadership had the idea, we are the exceptional country. What we do is the greatest. No one could possibly rival us. And what's happened now is, how is China a larger economy than the United States?
Okay, we're going to get into Europe because I'm a member of the European Parliament.
I had a conversation with President Macron, and I said, Mr. President, he said, you're absolutely right. But in public, he said exactly the opposite. And until today, he says exactly the opposite.
I started a political party in
good.
Cyprus. Direct democracy is the name. And it's to practice kind of what Switzerland is doing, sometimes to put votes through an application. And this is kind of the concept, and I'm curious to hear your thoughts.
I think it's...
Yeah, brother, right. They're right there.
Mm-hmm.
The men in the blue suits,
That's what the
tech people.
And again, the average American really doesn't know how deep that thing really is, bro. You know, for a foreign leader to say, you know, your president's coming in with these grandiose ideas, and like you're saying, you know, the men in black with blue ties come with briefcases and tell you what's going to go down, and then that's exactly what you see being played out. So that's what I'm saying. Again, Trump is a you know, enigma. He doesn't exist. He's just there in person. It's those people in behind the scenes, just like your boy Stephen Miller.
Right.
You know, he's up there making this pontificating on CNN. And then he just paused mid-sentence, you know, and you haven't heard Stephen Miller yet.
No, he hadn't said a word.
I haven't seen
since
him
that
do
time.
a newscast yet after that.
He hadn't said a word.
At least I haven't seen him.
I haven't either.
So, yeah, I ain't seen him. So when you think about it, bro, for somebody to have that kind of pull that can make you shut up midstream on national TV doing a live broadcast, yeah, you know, you stand still like nobody can see you, you know, but you had all this air in your chest, you know, prior to that, but somebody in your ear told you to shut the hell up. You know, and that's exactly what you did.
Yeah,
you know, so that's when you look at power, man. That should tell you something. But again, we're so caught up in Snap and all this other stuff, man, that you're not really seeing what's being played out in your government. They're showing you that your government is really a shell. It's a shadow of what's there. Always has been, always will be, until you finally freaking wake up and see what's going on.
Right. Exactly.
Just saying, man.
Exactly. So let's go to this part where it talks about the Trump donors and the political money games that's going on, because that's very important, because that's also telling you who actually run this country and how they run this country. And matter of fact, let's go to that beautiful beam footage, because that is something else right there. So let's go ahead and go to that right now, what we're talking about. And now these are the big giant tech companies. And this is why you always see them at all the time at certain events or at certain tables. You see them all the time because, man, it's so much corruption going on. It is crazy. Here it is.
In September 2025, Trump hosted a dinner for big tech's top CEOs.
The most brilliant people are gathered around this table.
Meta, Google, Microsoft, OpenAI, everyone was there.
This is definitely a high IQ group.
It was the usual scene. A bunch of people around a table praising Trump, thanking him for everything that he's doing.
Well, thanks for hosting us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for including me.
Thank you for being such a pro-business, pro-innovation president. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
But I've got to admit, this dinner in particular, it had me scratching my head. It was weird. And not just because Zuckerberg got caught on a hot mic trying to be the teacher's pet.
All of the companies here are making huge investments in the country.
How much are you spending, would you say, over the next few years?
Oh gosh, I don't know, at least $600 billion.
Sorry, was he ready to do our wasn't sure what number you want to go in.
Trump and Trump allies have historically been anti-tech.
There's no question that what the big tech companies are doing is very bad.
I think big tech has made a terrible mistake and very, very bad for our country.
The presidency that started the antitrust lawsuit against Google was Donald J. Trump's presidency. We've got to take on those monopolies. President Trump already did it, and I think he'll do it again if we give him another chance.
In fact, Trump's first administration sued Google and Meta, and they tried to ban TikTok. So when I saw this dinner, and when I saw this scene at his inauguration, I was more than a little surprised. What changed? How did we go from this?
I'm filing a major class action lawsuit against the big tech giants, including Facebook, Google, and Twitter.
To this.
This is definitely a high IQ group. They're leading a revolution in business and in genius.
Well, we can't say for sure, but I'm guessing all of these donations didn't hurt. And the switch up on big tech, it's just scratching the surface.
Now, you go from suing the big tech companies and not standing the big tech companies to now you got them at the table talking about these are the most brilliant people in the world. Now you're hyping them up, and now you giving them all the accolades. Yes, sir.
Keep going, my brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Because the plot thickens with these tech companies. So let's go to beautiful being footage number 2 on this.
Are we supposed to pretend that multi-billion-dollar corporations make multi-million-dollar payments and do not expect anything in exchange for those things?
You're looking at all of big tech's donations to the second inauguration of Donald Trump.
Each company gave about $1 million to the new president to throw a massive inauguration party, which many of their CEOs attended.
How did they get away with giving the president $1 million each? Because there are almost no rules regulating inauguration funds. No laws saying what the funds have to be spent on. No limits on how much can be donated or who can even donate. And as a result, inauguration funds have become a major tool for corporate interests to buy influence in our government. Another way to flatter and buy out Donald Trump. And the strategy is working. Before the inauguration, Meta was not in good standing with the government or with Donald Trump.
I consider Facebook to be an enemy of the people, along with a lot of the media.
Under Biden, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau was investigating Meta for illegally harvesting users' financial data to sell more ads on their platform. Then, Trump takes office, Meta donates $1 million, and the investigation vanishes. In fact, the Trump administration has basically shut down the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau entirely, which is great for Mark Zuckerberg, but not so much for the entire idea of protecting consumers. Google is playing the same game as Meta. In 2020, the previous Trump administration opened an antitrust case against Google. They said that Google had created an unfair monopoly. Something about running the single biggest search engine and the single biggest web browser at the same time seemed a little unfair, I guess. Google actually lost that case technically, but the judge ruled that Google wouldn't have to change its business in any major way. They could keep the Chrome web browser as long as they paid a measly fine that they could basically dig out of their couch cushions. A lot of people saw it as a major blow to antitrust efforts, and yet, 5 years after he opened the lawsuit, Trump changed course and congratulated the CEO of Google on this favorable ruling.
Do you want to talk about that big day you had yesterday?
I'm glad it's over.
Don't forget, Biden was the one that prosecuted that lawsuit. You know that, right?
Now, here it goes. You have no kind of requirements in giving donations for the inauguration celebration. But how is it that all of them give $1 million, then all of their stuff just goes away, that all the problems goes away, all the lawsuits goes away all of a sudden? And who's managing this money for the inauguration? Who's doing this? So right, if you had $1 million, man, we could get any problem we got vanished if we gave to the inauguration. Go ahead, my brother. Look like you want to say something. Go ahead.
Oh, no, man, I'm with you. Well, I'm saying if I had $1 million, my brother, your boy won't be giving it to no inauguration.
No, sir.
Because I got some $1 million problems I can solve with $1 million. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So no, not happening, player. But bro, again, this is where you are. You in a situation where it's pay to play, and those boys got the deep pockets, so they can pay, so they can play. And so there's no gotcha moment here, man. That you knew those cats were dropping dollars, and you knew the ballroom, you knew the inauguration, you knew exactly what was going on crypto. You know, you know exactly what's going on behind the scenes, man. Because again, when you got deep pockets and they don't mind dropping it because they know they're gonna make it back up in a day and a half.
Yes, sir.
What's the problem? You know, so that's why you're not. You know, that's why again, we're the ones on the menu because you don't have that kind of cash. You don't have that kind of capacity.
We don't have that kind of
they
cash,
made
and
you
we're not
dependent
sitting at the
upon
table.
faith.
Mm-hmm.
And they made you totally dependent on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, you know, X. You pull them platform now, people lose their freaking mind. You know, so yeah, go figure. And that's the issue, man. They've made you so dependent upon a thing that if it's removed, it will cause a huge issue. But you don't understand you're funding those people's ideals through your particular Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, whatever you want to put in there. So it's a no. You can't win this one in that regards. But for us to be in a situation where we have the most corrupt president outside of Nixon up in that joint,
yes, sir.
that everything he does, man, he's turned a dime.
Yeah,
that boy is turning a dime every day.
Every day.
But again, this is what them boys letting them do. Yeah, every day, man. Every day he turn a dime. You don't care.
Well, right. Let's look at the donation pattern. Let's look at who's making donations and how much the donations are, because we can kind of see now why this ballroom is getting built right now. We can see it.
And there's Apple. Tim Cook personally donated $1 million to the inauguration. And for his donation, Apple has been given a lot of preferential treatment. Just this past April, Apple was in a tough spot. Trump had just announced huge tariffs on all kinds of goods coming from foreign countries. Tariffs that would raise Apple's cost of doing business by billions. Weeks later, after Tim Cook met with Trump, the White House announced tariff exemptions for smartphones, computers, and chips. You know, the things that Apple makes. So a $1 million donation for Apple and billions in savings. I guess that's what economists would call a return on investment. To me, it just looks like a bribe with extra steps.
Microsoft, you guessed it, also got in on the action with a $750,000 donation.
And like Google, they got the FTC off their back. A major antitrust case against them dropped for a huge merger they did in 2023 with Activision. Amazon reached a big settlement with the FTC for essentially tricking consumers into signing up for Amazon Prime, a case the FTC could easily have won. So why would they suddenly settle? Are you starting to see a pattern yet? Well, just wait, it's about to get worse.
Wait, it's about to really get worse here in this pattern here. And you see in the pattern of them making the donation, just their problems get wiped away all of a sudden. All of a sudden.
Yeah. Sucks, don't it?
Yeah, it sucks. For real.
It sucks. But that's where you are.
That's where you are.
And again, if any other person would have done this, man, that you know it's a bribe. Because you let an immigrant, a foreigner, run your government within 6 months through every entrance department you can name. You let them run through your government within 6 months.
Right.
And then this cat goes missing after that.
It wasn't 6 months. It was like,
you're right.
3.
That's even make it worse.
Exactly.
That's what makes it worse. You know, so you let this cat run through your government. And all of a sudden, every investigation, every department that regulates this cat, from the FAA to, again, environmental agencies, everything that regulates this cat was basically annihilated. Every investigation he had taken away. So you know what this is, man. You know what it's going. What's sad is we're focusing again on the wrong thing. You're not looking how, again, somebody is basically ransacking your government, telling not that you'll never be able to unravel. And then those outside who are benefiting from all this walk away squeaky clean, because they're doing it in the name of political activity. And so that's the average American has. I'm not going to say you don't have a clue, but I will say you're so far down the line that the concern that you may have doesn't matter.
Right.
I think that's what this is.
Right.
When you see what's happening to the farmers, whether it's soybean, the cattle ranchers, you see what happened to those cats. And then your boy sends over $20 billion to Argentina. So go figure that one. So it shows you, man, that you're so far down the line, that your pockets are really insignificant at this point.
Wow.
They don't care.
They don't,
and they're showing that they don't have to care. They're showing they don't have to care.
Exactly.
They don't have to.
Exactly.
So it's a wake up call, Jay, for all of us, man. On the for real tip, that you better start looking at financially, making yourself a position where you understand what capitalism really is, and practice capitalism in your own little small economy. Otherwise, you're going to be collateral damage.
Right, because they're playing in the game. They're playing the game of capitalism right now. This is how you play the game, and this is how they're playing the game. And the next thing is, okay, where's the accountability when it comes to all this money being taken up for quote unquote the inauguration celebration? And what happens to the leftover money from the celebration? Because there's no way you can spend $240 million on a celebration. No way. $240 million at one time? In one night? No. Let's run this beautiful bean footage right now. No.
1 in 3 lawsuits brought against big tech by the government have now been dropped by the Trump administration. So if these donations are all paying off for big tech, you really have to wonder, what else is being bought by all these donations? What you're looking at now is the biggest inaugural fund in the history of the United States. You might be wondering, why are we talking about the inauguration now, months later? Well, first, information about donors take months to be reported to the public, and some donors try to hide their donations. Second, inaugural funds have become a major tool for corporate interests to buy influence in our government. We have all this data because Open Secrets combed through the Federal Election Commission filings to find out who donated. Over $240 million, nearly 800 donors, and like I said before, no rules about how that money has to be spent, managed, or where it can come from. Even the Trump team can't find a way to spend $240 million on a party. So what's happening with all that leftover money, and who's managing it?
No accountability. You got over 800 donors that gave to the inauguration. Over $240 million for one night?
And that's just the inauguration, bro.
Yes.
Come on now.
Come on now.
Your girl Melania, which we have not seen as of yet, Amazon slated $40 million for her documentary.
For a documentary? What has she done to earn a documentary? Okay.
I don't know, but it's got to be $40 million.
$40 million?
I guess. Hell, I don't know.
And didn't Amazon give that?
That's what Jeff Bezos says she worth.
Man, come on, man.
That's what Jeff Bezos says she's worth.
As my boy said, come on, dog.
Hey, I'm just yeah, yeah, man. But you know what this is. I'm telling you, bro. What happened is this cat, as far as Trump, peeped years ago. Because again, he's nothing but a scammer. Peeped years ago that the biggest check ever in America has always been politics. And if you could ride that wave, you could become the next whatever you want to be. Trillionaire, billionaire, pick one. So I mean, Trump's business was failing. Every business he had was collapsing. His charity was under investigation. Then all of a sudden, this man jumps in politics, and money stopped flowing in.
Flowing.
So at the end of the day, this is what you got. You got this cat just raking in. Yeah, he's got cat raking in cash because again, it's one of the most unregulated fields on the planet as far as America is concerned. And so yeah, he's raking in the cash, but it's just for his personal benefit. It has nothing to do with American people. Never will be. This is him again writing his own check, and America's flipping the bill. So this is where you are. He gets the cash. The people at play get the power, and so yeah, that's what the trade-off is, man.
Okay.
You get the cash, we get the power.
We get the power.
Trade-off.
Mm-hmm. So other players in the game and get the picture. Here we go.
Big tech companies weren't the only ones throwing their hats in the ring. Up first, the top donor, a company called Pilgrim's Pride, contributed $5 million. They're one of the top chicken producers in the United States, and this was their biggest political donation ever. And you know what? It looks like they're getting good value for their money. Because in March of this year, just a few months after the inauguration, the USDA started changing the rules around poultry production. The USDA decided to let poultry giants speed up production despite serious safety concerns. Unions pointed out that increased speeds will mean more injured workers in an industry where over 80% of workers are already at risk for repetitive use injuries. And yeah, that makes sense. But I guess the unions didn't have $5 million to give to the Trump administration. Next up, Big Oil, ConocoPhillips, and Chevron. On the first day of the new administration, Trump signed an order to expand drilling on federal land in Alaska. Then they passed the One Big Beautiful Bill, which had $18 billion in tax breaks and incentives for big oil. Then in July, they reversed their own ban and decided that Chevron should definitely be allowed to operate in Venezuela. And I'm sure the $2 million donation had nothing to do with it. Nvidia got in on the action with $1 million donation. And what did they get? Permission. The government had previously banned Nvidia from selling their most advanced AI chips to China on the grounds that China would be using them for the military. Not the case anymore. AI chips can be sold to China again, although Nvidia does have to share 15% of the revenue with the US government. Just like with Apple, tariffs seem to only apply to people who lack direct access to the president. Boeing made a contribution after having a very bad couple of years. You might remember a few years ago their planes were literally falling out of the sky. Hundreds of people died. Seems like the kind of thing that there might be a trial over. But in May, the Department of Justice made a deal with Boeing to not prosecute them for crimes over the 737 crashes as long as Boeing paid about $1.1 billion in fines. Sounds like a lot of money until you learn that Boeing had just won a contract for $50 billion with the Department of Defense to build new F-47 fighter jets. Looks a lot like a preferential slap on the wrist to me. If you hate the current state of air travel, then you'll be interested to hear that Delta and United both made major donations. Then the Trump administration turned around and killed new rules that would force airlines to compensate passengers for excessive delays. In response to this move and the rollback of other rules about hidden fees and flight cancellations, the airlines said, "We look forward to working with the Department of Transportation on implementing President Trump's deregulatory agenda." Yeah, I bet they do. The crypto industry also came in with some of the biggest donations for President Trump. Crypto companies and schemes rocketed to the center of the Trump world at the start of this year when Trump passed the Genius Act, the first major piece of legislation that brings cryptocurrencies into the formal economy, started dropping major investigations into crypto companies, created a strategic cryptocurrency reserve for the government, and launched his own meme coin on the Solana blockchain, another major donor.
Man, there it is. There it is. If you pay, you can pay to play.
You can't get no. Yeah, can't get no clearer than that, player.
No, you can't. You can't. Then you try to figure out, well, why are we so far behind? Okay, you see why now. You see why now? Because of course, in this capitalistic society, this is how they play the games in the back door. This is how they play.
Yeah.
We can't even get at the table.
Yep.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. This is great. So
Again, because this old saying, one hand greens the other. You know, that's what this is, man. And again, the sad part about it is you're so far down the road with this kind of thing, man. The question is, how did you turn the tide? What's the exit? Oh, what's the exit ramp off this highway? That's the question,
right?
That you're going to have to ask again for the next generation. What's the exit? Because you're so far down this thing now, man. And again, if you look at the dynamics of politics, it's all about, again, entrenching people of like minds inside of the structure. And that's all Project 25 was. That's the only reason why they wanted Trump to get in there. So they could get a Miller in there. So they could get, again, a McMahon and a Hegseth. And it's the reason why Trump was a necessity is, again, to get the architects like a Voight over the CBA. So all those things, man. It's not about those in the front. It's about those cats. Another thing you haven't heard about is, of course, Trump's quote unquote not secretary, but chief of staff, the young woman from Florida.
Right.
You haven't seen that woman nowhere. Like the other ones were. So, but that's the one pulling the strings. So that's when you're looking at, why something is the way it is, and what was a necessity of this necessary evil, if you will look at Trump. Because again, when they wanted to get crypto the way it is now, you had to get Biden out the way, or someone of their mindset who wanted to regulate crypto. Get somebody who has no idea what crypto is. Just know he got a meme going with his face on it, and he's smiling about that. That's all he wants. So that's the whole issue here, bro. This dummy don't know what crypto is. He just know it's
right, because it wasn't
make money. That's all I care about.
Because it wasn't real currency before the Trump administration.
Nah, and it still ain't real currency, But because again, it is unregulated. Because again, you got foreign interests that are able to pour money into somebody that you cannot track because it's all digital. That's what this is, man. At the end of the day, you're in a situation where somebody can funnel money into an entity and you can't track it. This is what it is. You can't track this stuff, man. And if you ever do able to track, it's gonna take you God knows eons of years to find out what was the source of it. And so that's what you're looking at. You got foreign governments that are able to influence certain dynamics because they're able to flood you with cash, and it's all digital. It's mostly untraceable. And that's what your boys were saying in the central bank is this thing is highly volatile. And there's no way to regulate this without causing some serious upheaval. So get somebody like a Trump, create a business, and he doesn't care about anything else. And when the sucker crash, then that's going to be another problem.
Right.
But I guess they did that when it happened. I guess, hell, I don't
know. We don't know. But what we're going to do, right, we're going to take a 2-minute break. And then we're going to come back. And we're going to talk about the dark truth behind AI. And the name of that is that Palantir. Y'all about to find out some stuff now right here on Uncommon Sense. Ready to take your media to the next level? Introducing True Vision's all-in-one streaming solution, powered by KBCN Media 360. Stream live shows, podcasts, and 24/7 channels, all for one powerful platform. Whether you're building your brand, growing your audience, or launching your network, True Vision gives you the tools to broadcast, engage, and monetize seamlessly. True Vision, one platform, unlimited possibilities. Visit thetruevision.net to get started today. To elevate your brand and make an impact, welcome to KBCN Media, your partner in transformation. We empower communities with innovative web development, bold branding, and impactful marketing strategies, from creative graphic design and professional video production to social media management and strategic content distribution. We deliver digital solutions that amplify your voice and control the narrative. At KBCN Media, we don't just build brands, we inspire change. Let's create something extraordinary together. Visit kbcnmedia.com and start transforming your vision today. At KBCN Media 360, we don't just tell stories, we build them. From branding and marketing to broadcasting and live streaming, we deliver 360-degree media solutions that drive impact and help you stand out. Whether you're a business owner, community leader, or entrepreneur, we have the tools and expertise to turn your vision into measurable results. Your story deserves more than just airtime. It deserves a platform. Learn more at kbcnmedia.com. That's kbcnmedia.com. Welcome back to Uncommon Sense, right here on SinceYouAsked.com, also the TrueVision.net, and also KBCNradio.com. And right, like I said before, we're going to talk about the dark truth behind AI. So we're going to go to the beautiful beam footage right now, because there's something called Palantir that everybody needs to find out about. Here we go.
What if I told you the most powerful company in America isn't Apple, Google, or Amazon, but a name you've barely heard, Palantir? Founded in 2003 with seed money from the CIA, Palantir quietly became the invisible giant behind governments, militaries, and corporations. While headlines celebrate iPhones and Teslas, Palantir operates in the shadows, blending surveillance, AI, and data mining into something more dangerous than products or profits: control. This isn't fiction. Palantir's reach goes far beyond your search history or shopping cart. They are embedded into hospitals, financial systems, defense networks, immigration enforcement, intelligence agencies. Their software predicts not just what you'll buy, but where you'll go, who you'll meet, and what you'll do, often before you know it yourself. That dream of a God's eye view, every action, every transaction tracked and analyzed, is no longer a dream. Palantir built it, perfected it, and sold it to the highest bidders. Governments desperate for security, corporations desperate for power. So why don't you hear about them? Because you're not their customer. Their clients are the ones who govern, police, and monitor you.
Now, Palantir. Now, with Palantir, we looked at the movie Fast and Furious, and you know they had this software called God's Eye. Palantir is the same thing, the exact same thing, that can track every movement that you make. And guess what? They don't even need for you to log in. They don't need your permission. And they follow and track you every moment of the day. That's scary, ain't it, right?
Man, that's beyond scary, bro. That make you want to throw away these cell phones.
Yes, sir.
And go totally off the grid.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
go totally grid. But you're 100% right about Fast and Furious, man. They try to tell you again. sometimes people be slipping stuff in these movies and slipping things in like they did Schoolhouse Rock for us and Electric Company for us.
Right.
Even SNL was doing it, man, back in the day, trying to drop them little gems. And if you go back in the day, bro, like Barney Miller, all those cats, man, they used to drop them little lines in those sitcoms to try to tell you what's going on. You know, like you said, like Fast and Furious, man, they showed you, man, it exists. You know, and God's eye is real. It's a real software. It's powered by your government. Yeah, that's what this is, man. That's your Patriot Act is what fueled that, bro. 9/11 was the kickoff.
Right.
That was your kickoff, man. And they never look back. They never look back.
Never look
back.
back.
This is where you are, bro. No.
Now this is how it
there's too much
started,
money,
right?
man. Yeah.
Yes. Now this is how it started. This is how it got started.
The story begins with Peter Thiel, PayPal co-founder and political power broker. With funding from In-Q-Tel, the CIA's venture capital arm, Palantir was created to make sense of oceans of data. Bank records, phone metadata, travel logs, medical files. The name comes from Tolkien's Seeing Stones, magical orbs that let rulers spy across any distance. Today, that fantasy is reality. After September 11th, intelligence agencies were drowning in raw data. Palantir promised clarity. Soon its software was tracking terrorist networks, predicting insurgent attacks, guiding drone strikes in the Middle East. To militaries, it was revolutionary. To civil liberties, it was catastrophic. Because once a government gains a tool that powerful, history shows it never willingly gives it back. From there, Palantir spread into civilian life. Police departments adopted it to predict crime. Hospitals used it to centralize patient data. Banks deployed it to fight fraud. During COVID, Palantir ran HHS Protect, the federal platform holding sensitive health records of millions of Americans. A private company with intelligence roots had gained unprecedented access to medical data, all under the banner of public safety. But Palantir doesn't just organize data, it predicts behavior. Its algorithms forecast where crime might occur, who might commit it, when unrest may spark. Critics warn this creates a self-fulfilling cycle. Label a neighborhood as high risk, flood it with police, generate more arrests, then use those arrests to justify the prediction. Entire communities get trapped by digital suspicion, punished not for what they've done, but for what a machine thinks they might do.
This is why your boy Trump is sending people to Chicago and California and Oregon and stuff like that, and saying that it's a emergency, because he's going by what Palantir is telling him, that these places are high risk for crime.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. And you got to pay attention to it, because you see it. I mean, it's just clear as day. And you see it, right? You see it happening right in front of your face. And again, like Wright said, Trump is playing the role. He's playing the role, and he's playing it to the T. So now here is how.
That's where we are, man.
This is how the software, right? Here's how the software is controlling. Here it is.
Unlike Apple or Amazon, Palantir doesn't need consumers. It isn't building shiny gadgets. It's building the invisible operating system of reality, a framework governments and corporations depend on, often without the public ever knowing it's there. Their true product isn't convenience, it's control. The contracts prove it: billion-dollar defense budgets, decade-long government agreements. Palantir went public in 2020, but its lifeblood isn't stockholders. It's the permanent partnership with the most powerful clients on Earth, militaries and intelligence agencies. These are not customers you cancel. So what's the end game? A one-world surveillance infrastructure, a digital panopticon logging every movement, analyzing every decision, predicting every choice. In such a system, borders lose meaning because data flows across them. Elections lose meaning because behavior can be nudged in advance. Free will loses meaning because your future is forecast and shaped before you act. The timing is no accident. As governments push for digital currencies, Palantir positions itself to monitor every transaction. As crises multiply, wars, pandemics, financial collapses, Palantir offers solutions. Each emergency feeds more information into their machine. Each byte becomes another brick in the walls of a digital prison. They market themselves as protectors, stopping terrorism, fighting crime, managing healthcare. But history makes one truth clear: absolute surveillance never stays noble. Once the tools are built, they are always turned toward control. And Palantir's tools are spreading faster than anything before. Here's the chilling part. Palantir doesn't need your consent. You don't download an app or sign up for an account. Your data, your location, your habits, your health, your finances already flows through the pipelines they control. They don't need your permission. By the time you realize it, the system is already watching.
Don't need your permission at all. Not at all. And also, if you saw in there, it talks about how, remember how Trump went to the Christians and he told them, he says, well, we're going to rig this thing to where y'all won't even have to vote no more. Y'all won't even have to vote no more. He was talking about this Palantir. That's what he's talking about. This thing is real. This thing ain't just something we made up. This is some real stuff going on in the background. And we better pay
I told you, boy. I'm trying to tell you, boy.
Boy.
Yeah. This, I'm telling you, man, this, again, bro, when they made, like a lot of folks said with my chart, you know, they made you put all your medical information on that my chart, everything went digital. That was Palantir.
Right.
You know?
Right.
That's what this is. So, but they put on the guys, you know, so that your medical records could be shared with any provider when you go. It'd be, everything is there on the internet, and you can just have a smooth, seamless, you know, transition from one provider to another. No, that's so they can mine your data, you know. But again, like the narrator said, by the time you figure this out, your stuff has already been locked into the system. They already done tracked you some kind of way, from your medical records to your daily activities to your web searches, you know, to your interaction with municipalities. They already tracked you, and so yeah, everybody got a digital footprint, whether you like it or not, and you're already there.
You're already there. Truly. And that's the show for tonight. That's the show for tonight. Because I think we done gave you a whole lot right now. Because that thing is a beast. I'm telling you, it is a beast. And getting into the wrong hands.
Man.
Ooh, man. You talking about another world.
Getting into is already into.
Yeah, it's already into. It's already into.
Getting into is already in there, boy.
Right.
Unless you finally do what that great prophet said.
What's that? What's the great prophet say?
You know, Teddy Pendergrass told you to turn off the lights. So
and light a candle.
So I'm telling you, turn them off, boy.
Turn them off.
Turn that phone off. Turn that computer off, boy. You better turn them off.
Turn them off.
They done latched on to you, boy.
Uncommon Sense. Uncommon Sense Podcast right here on SinceYouAsked.com, thetruevision.net, and also KBCNradio.com. Until next week, we'll see you then. Mm-hmm.